Good Erev, Shabbos everyone, Parshas Vearah, Shabbos and Vearah Shvat. We're in between the days of Chof Dalet Tevis and Yud Shvat. It's a very opportune time in Eis Ratzon. So a quick word, really the Parsha Ve'era, it's a lot of Chassidus and a lot of Maimorim of the Alter Rebbe. We know it's called, there's the Fruma Ve'era, it's a Fruma Parsha. Fundamentally, Ve'era is actually a very, very important Parsha like we learned this morning. Seemingly, in theory, we could have gone from Parshas Shmois straight to Boi, the end of Boi really, and into Beshalach. We said we went to Mitzrayim, God chose Moshe Rabbeinu to be the Redeemer, and we left Mitzrayim, and then we went to go receive the Torah, we went through the Yam Suf. We learned about the Korban Pesach, but Parshas Ve'era really just talks about the plagues. And in the Parshas Ve'era, starting from the Alter Rebbe, and most of the Maimorim Chassidus, the emphasis is to understand really a fundamental question. And the question is, why does Ve'era start where it starts from? In theory, if the Parsha Ve'era is just about to tell us about the 10 plagues, it really should have started from Sheni or Shlishi, from when the plague started, from when at least the first miracle, when the staff turns into a snake and vice versa. But Parshas Ve'era is very unique. It's mid-conversation. Moshe Rabbeinu is the Redeemer. He tells the Jewish people, I'm here to redeem you. He uses the language of redemption in Parshas Shmois. And even though Moshe is not sure, the Jewish people believe. But when the Jewish people believe and he goes and gives the message now to Paroi says, what are you talking about? Not only am I not going to let them go, we're going to actually intensify the slavery. And the Jewish people are totally taken back and they're upset at Moshe. Moshe goes back to Hashem and says, Lama hara'isi lama zeh. Why did you make things more difficult? And then we have one verse of response from Hashem in last week's Parsha. God says, you'll see. And then he explains in this week's Parsha. Seemingly, if there's something to explain, we should have finished off the story in Parshas Shemais. And now we're going to go into beginning of redemption, starting with the plagues. We should say Parshas Ve'era, and then we learn about the redemption in Parshas Boi. And that's the whole point. The Rebbe explains us. And this is the point of most of the Maimorim Chassidus really, is to really understand the redemption. You see, it's Mitzrayim. We really first have to understand, why did we go to Mitzrayim in the first place? I mean, in theory, we have to really understand that, we have to understand the plagues. Because if we just want to go through quickly, we could have said that Moshe comes in and takes the Jewish people out, tells Parah, I'm leaving. And there's no force that could stop Hashem, and then we would leave. So the Makos reveals to us, why are we in Egypt in the first place? Why did we have to go to Egypt? Because the Makos is not just a punishment. The Makos is actually explaining us, why are we in Egypt? And that's intensified by understanding that there's a problem with Golus. Moshe Rabbeinu comes and announces the redemption. The Jewish people want to believe. And when it doesn't happen, when the reality kicks in and doubles down, the Moshe Rabbeinu says to Hashem, I don't understand this. Not only have I not redeemed the Jewish people, I made it worse. And Hashem explains him that in order to understand why we went to Mitzrayim, and it needs to intensify to really bring out the point that Mitzrayim is not about punishment. Mitzrayim is not about Hashem's upset at the Jewish people. Something great is about to happen. Ani Hashem. There's going to be a revelation of the name of Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei. And in order to get that, first we have to crystallize what you think is reality and slowly break down what you think is reality to show you that's really Yad Hashem. Everything's Hashem. Like Hashem tells Moshe in the beginning of next week's Parsha, that I made Paris, I'm making Paris hard. Situations, the way you see it, the reality that you are concluded, the reason why the Jewish people tell Moshe, that the Torah says that the Jewish people respond to Moshe, we can't listen to you. We don't understand what you're talking about. You're talking words of redemption. Hine Mashiach ba. There's redemption. Open your eyes. Geula is about to happen. Mashiach is about to happen. And the reality on the ground is saying differently. And slowly the 10 Makos come to show you piece by piece, Dam, Tzverdei, Yakinim, all the Makos, as the Rebbe explains in the beautiful Sikha in Chelek Aleph from the year Tavshin Yud Ches, how slowly what the Makos are coming to show us, and that's what really this week's Parsha is coming to show us, that our perception of reality and the world we live in, and the value we give to what we think is Pari, the Avodah Zarah of Mitzrayim is the Nile River. All that is the reality as we think it is, and slowly the Makkos breaks it apart, and we start to see how we can bring the name of Hashem into the world, and how we could use Torah, and we don't allow the world to dictate, but Torah tells us how we have to live our lives. Torah dictates what we're supposed to be doing here. Torah shows us what the purpose of our life is, and therefore we're able to actually start to get a true inner redemption, and maybe be zoichet to have redemption, Gula Mitis. We shouldn't have to go through these questions. We shouldn't have to say, why are things getting worse? We should be able to immediately march to the Geula, to be able to actualize the idea of Ani Avaya, I'm Hashem, with the revelations of godliness within this world, with the coming of Mashiach B'Meher B'Yameinu. Good Shabbos.